access said creepy tower. By order of magnitude, several of our characters went crazy. Urich seemed to gain a fondness for fondling metal and making good clicky clack noises. Awen went mute, and Leah went full batshit and just started seeing her mom. We then attempted to get ourselves healed at a temple, at which point the combination of we're adventurers and Urich punching Leah in the face for casting spells on him got us promptly kicked out of the temple. At which point the party split between Leah and everybody else, and an attempt to remedy the, well, I would say that the now madhouse, but it's always been a little bit of a fucking madhouse. RVO decided to go to the library while everybody else found another place to shack up for the night, as we have been kicked off of the boat. Because again, we're a fucking madhouse.
We didn't get kicked. So the beginning of the session started off with us talking about like what did we want to do pushing forward, because the captain came to Awen and suggested that if we don't stop with the horseplay, he has no problem leaving us in locations and just going on without us. So we came to the conclusion that it's probably better just for us to leave now, so that way we don't cause any more conflict with this crew that we have. And then we went to the tower. And then everybody went crazy, basically.
Yeah. It's funny how a little bit of adventure experience protects from that sort of thing.
Yeah, and then the party's currently split in 3. Arvio's at the library, Awen, Grim, and Urich is in the tavern, which we got rooms for. And Leah is currently
in alleyway.
In an alleyway losing her mind.
Yeah, honestly, we all knew it would come to this. Like, let's be real. We expected it to be worse.
If I remember correctly, RVO, you were leaving off, going and looking up some books on mind flayers.
Yes, and I think I was going to ask the guy something, which I do remember what I was going to ask him as I was looking this up. But, you know, we'll get to that when we get to that.
Well, why do we not just go ahead and jump in and start with you, RVO, as Topos is guiding you through the library up a couple floors towards the mind flayer section.
Oh, wow, they have an entire section. Wowee, you guys are learned. So I do have a question for you, Topo. I've noticed something among the many wizards that I have encountered during my little bit of adventuring. They all, and I don't know, this may just be because I'm a little bit of a self-study and I find this weird. Why is it that they all know the same spells? Like, they all know, like, the bare essentials. They seem to be really hooked onto, like, evocation and abjuration. And not really exploring all the other, you know, different schools. Is there, like, a textbook that they hand out? Like, that they hand out to everybody?
Well, for the most part, they generally train from masters. They kind of, you know, pass down through the ages, and the other half of it, they focus on things that are more utilized in their type of careers.
Oh, I guess that makes sense, because most of the wizards that I've met have been ones that are trying to kill or rob me. So I guess having a lot of fireball go boom, ice storm in the middle of the desert, haha, you don't get to cast spells. I guess that makes sense.
Yes, the more, I guess I want to say the rare studies, just the not so common ones, those wizards are usually held up in their towers doing experiments or something that behooves them.
Reminds me, I need to get a tower. Once I settle down. Anyway, notes for later.
Well, isn't that what you're here investigating? Is the tower? Are you hoping to make it yours?
I mean, I will admit I had the outside hope that I could. Mind you, there's a lot of people going absolutely insane just by touching the damn thing. So, but maybe I can figure it out. Maybe all you guys need is a different set of eyes on this. I'm not sure. Not to talk down to you at all, he says, as physically he actually does, because this man is a gnome.
He looks up at you. And, is that some sort of short joke?
That's not. I mean being patronizing. I don't mean to be patronizing, but
Oh, we have no interest in the tower, so too many people got mad there. We've kind of given up on it.
fair enough.
But if you wish, continue on to the Illithids, yes?
Yes, fantastic.
All right. So he leads you kind of through this maze of a library, and eventually you get to a section, and he shows you where the study area is, and then he shows you the books, and he's like, most of these, well, this entire section's on the Underdark, but this particular row here has a lot of information on Illithids. Some of it's firsthand experience, some of it's speculation. But be my guest.
Thank you. I'll try not to take up too much of your time. I'm sure you have much better things to do than watching over me. I'll try to read quickly.
Hey, babe.
Well, how about you go ahead and give me an investigation check as you start like pulling off books, taking them over to a table, going through and reading them.
Nerd classes activate. One moment. Yeah, that's the wrong one. I meant to do that. 21.
All right. So you take a little bit, but you eventually kind of find one. Well, a few books that kind of seem to agree on things. Mind flayers, known as Illithids. They seem to be some other dimensional like beings that live in the Underdark. Nobody really knows how they got here. They believe that they might date back to the Rift event. They are known to use psionic abilities and mess with the mind. And you find an interesting part because you were kind of guided here because he was talking about how they can protect their minds. And so if you could find one, it might be able to help you. But so you, in that vein, as you're searching through this, you kind of come across this mention of people sometimes using lead helmets to protect themselves from mind flayers because it makes it, they've discovered that it makes it so mind flayers can't like mess with their brain.
Curious. Okay. And then I'm going to get done with my studies and thank Tobo. Tobo was his name, yes?
Topos.
Thank Topos for his time. And ask if for being such a gracious host, if there is anything I can do for him in this investigation of the tower.
I mean, if you find anything new and extraordinary as far as the magical field of studies go, you can always report it to me.
Fantastic. I mean, after I look over it first, because, you know, the wizards, we poke shit. Anyway, you know how it go.
Of course.
Of course.
And he kind of guides you back down towards the front door.
Cool.
Lad's gonna jump in here real quick.
I also have a thing that I know I'm going to do after this, so I'm going to let everybody else go too.
All right. Well, we will check in very briefly because I believe everybody else was kind of just staying put. So, Leah, what are your? You still just hanging out, or have you changed your plan?
Is my meditation finished? The 4 hours I've been spending now.
At this point, yes.
Okay. My woodland creatures are gone, as I expect them to be.
That is correct.
How far am I from the tower?
I believe you're just across the street in the alleyway, correct?
Yeah, I was looking for the closest alley. I wasn't sure how far I had to travel to them, but
Not too far.
All right. Since I recovered, well, all the spells and abilities I used, I'm gonna okay. I'm gonna wild shape into a fly, and I'm gonna attempt to go inside the tower through the slits in the windows.
All right, so you flutter over the crowd, across the street, through the fence, where you kind of get that change of atmosphere set upon you, and you make your way in, and you flutter into the tower, and you find yourself in circular room, obviously.
Mhm.
Go ahead and roll me a 1d4.
Okay.
Decide which window you fly in through.
Oh, good, it matters.
All right, so you flew through a window in the back, and as you kind of come in to your immediate right, there's like a bunch of crates and stuff there, and there's also, like, you notice a little table and some chairs off to the left. Immediately in front of you, in the center of this tower, is a spiral staircase that winds upwards, or you can see it kind of going upwards, you assume. And there's also furniture on the other side, but being a fly, it's a little hard to see that far. But go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. 7.
Okay, so you fly through this window and you're kind of making your way past the crates and wall, and you're kind of taking in everything, when all of a sudden you find yourself kind of stuck, and you start like beating
Oh
your
no.
wings really fast, and you turn around and look and realize you've gotten yourself stuck in a spider web.
Oh, do I see a
God.
spider nearby?
Give me a perception check.
Okay.
What is the perception check on a fly?
As you're sitting there panicking, beating your wings, trying to get off of the spider web, you do indeed see something kind of coming over the crate and slowly start to make its way down towards you.
What can I roll to break free from the web?
You can give me a strength saving or strength check at disadvantage.
Considering that I'm fly, it's not gonna be any good anyway. Okay. I was trying not to touch anything in the tower. That's why I wanted to fly around. But since the situation got dire, I'm gonna turn back to Leah.
All right. So all of a sudden, you crash to the floor. You kind of catch the edge of this crate that the spider web was on that you got stuck in, and you just land really hard on the stone floor. And all of a sudden, you kind of got like spider web on your face and your shoulder. And what you would think to be a sense of panic as this creature was just heading towards its prey, all of a sudden, the spider is like on your face and starts to scurry away from you.
I'll try like basically flick him with my fingers, like fly away. There you go.
All right. You flick them, and there's a little like wet thump as you do so, and you just watch it fly off into the darkness.
Okay. So I assume, other than the spider, I did not see, or still not seeing, anyone, or alive, anything in.
No, it is completely empty in here. This room looks to be kind of like an entrance. It is very barren and just spider webs draping everything everywhere, and there's dust on everything.
Okay, Leah will actually take Arvia's lesson, which is hilarious considering the circumstances. I will attempt to summon satyrs again, 4 of them, and I'll ask them to basically investigate every single room and try to unlock the front door for me.
All right, so you watch as a bunch of Arvios all of a sudden are just standing
Oh,
all
I
around
love it.
you.
I love it.
And to you, they're standing there just like saying kind of mean things to you, but they do walk away and start taking care of the tasks that you asked them to. Now, you asked them to try to unlock the front door for you.
Yes, front door. Like I would ask 2 of them to try to unlock the front door, and the remaining 2 to go and investigate the tower. Basically, open any locked door and look around for anything really.
Are they also insulting everything that they see with a really big, like a sort of snooty, high-pitched voice, as you do? Like, oh, it's so fucking awful in here. I hate it. It's yes, indeed, terrible, terrible.
Indeed, they are. And you watch as 2 of them kind of walk over to the stairway, and you notice one starts walking upwards up the spiral stairs, and one starts to go downwards. And you watch the 2 head over towards the door and start to mess with it.
That's a lot of dice.
Satyrs have magic resistance. That will help.
These stairs are fucking awful.
They just lost 2 of them.
They both get Thanos snapped.
All right, so very similar to what happened to you on the outside when you tried to mess with the door. You watch as this fiery explosion. Well, at first there's kind of like this magical trace that appears on the door for a brief second, and you watch as this fiery explosion just shoots in their direction, and you just hear this awful RVO scream as you watch him burn and just collapse to the ground dead.
Oh, so that's how dying Argo sounds. Okay. I guess I'll have to leave through the windows again. I'll attempt to walk up the staircase behind one of the stairs, but I'm trying not to touch anything other than basically the steps that I'm stepping on.
All right, so you go up and you're following behind him, and you come to a doorway, and you watch as he touches it, and you see once more this very now familiar glyph appear on the door as a fiery explosion happens. And indeed, you watch as this one dies too. And in fact, why don't you go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw?
Oh boy.
Since you were following him.
Okay. Okay. Am I okay? With 21.
You'll take 18 points of fire damage.
Jesus. Okay.
These traps don't reset. Holy fuck.
Okay. I'll attempt to go downstairs and check on my last satyr.
Okay, well, as you head downstairs below ground, you come out into this wide, squarish room, and you look to your left and you see like these stairways heading down to this giant metal double doors. And you can see on the floor there, these hoof prints kind of lead up to the double doors. And all of a sudden, there's just a giant scorch mark on the floor.
Okay, were there any doors on the first floor where we began? Were there any doors in there, or was it just like a space and then stairs up and down?
It was just a space and the stairs up and down. And then there was the front door.
Okay. There's no way my mom is here. I'm gonna go up and up the stairs. Come to the same window, and turn into the fly and fly out, and well, go outside of this whole area.
Okay. Well, as you're heading up the stairs, you actually hear something that sounds like it's running in front of you.
I will still keep on going upwards.
All right. So you following the sound, or are you still heading outside?
No, I'm heading out.
Okay. So as you're walking up, you can hear something that sounds like it's heading up the stairs above you, like ahead of you. And as you come out into the first floor where you entered the stairway, you can hear it, and it just seems like it gets quieter and quieter as it moves its way up. But you head over towards the window, turn into a fly, and fly your way outside.
Yes. And I leave the area.
All right. So jumping to Awin and Grim.
I'm pretty deep in my cups at this point. Probably gonna go to bed. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna go upstairs and lay in bed.
All right. And Grim.
Currently muted.
Sounds like a fantastic plan.
Howdy.